Welcome to CBS Sports coverage of the second round of the American Le Mans Series 2006 Championship Chase, the Lone Star Grand Prix, here at Houston's Reliant Park on a temporary circuit weaving around the home of the NFL Texans and the legendary Astrodome.
The story in P1, the battle is between two teams. Dyson Racing is coming to grips with a new Lola chassis. James Weaver has qualified his number 16 Dyson Racing Lola on the pole, the 14th pole for Weaver, the 53rd pole for Dyson Racing. Now later in the season, Dyson will have to do battle with a brand new diesel-powered Audi R10. That car is not here this weekend. It is back in Europe preparing to run the 24-hour of Le Mans. So Audi Sport North America has brought back the Audi R8. Some rule changes over the past years have slowed this car down a little bit, but it is still very competitive, it's sturdy, and it is ultra reliable. The story, though, in P2 has all been about the Porsche RS Spyders of Penske Racing. Romain Dumas has qualified his Porsche Spyder second overall. The team car will start third, and there are those in the paddock who feel that these P2 Porsche Spyders, a little lighter weight, perhaps more nimble, but with less horsepower, may just be the ticket to win here on this very tight street circuit.
Hello. My name's James Weaver, and I'm from England.
Butch Leisinger, Reeversburg, Pennsylvania.
I'm Timo Bernhard from Germany.
I'm Romain Dumas from France.
Hi, I'm Ron Fellows from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Hi, I'm Johnny O'Connell from Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Hello, I'm Jaime Melo from Brazil.
Hi, I'm Mika Salo from Finland.
Green flag is out. Weaver in the Dyson Lola leads them down, and everybody at this point, Calvin, smartly looking to go single file and not try and do anything too rash too early and get themselves in trouble right off the bat. Oh, except right there, the Intersport car for a moment tried to go too wide, and I think the Aston Martin there recognized that, let them slide in. Smart driving really so far.
It really was. The chief steward before the green flag today said, guys, I really need you to space out. Try and give 3 to 4 car lengths between each other when you come to the green. Typically, race car drivers, they don't want to give up any track position. I'm surprised it was as clean as it was.
Out of turn 4 into turn 5. Left-hander right here. A lead into turn 6. This is actually, Calvin, a very quick corner.
It really is. They've eased the apex of that turn, and we see Weaver out front right now. Dumas really putting the pressure on. These guys were extremely close in qualifying here yesterday. Just a few hundredths of a second separated them, and about the same right now on the racetrack. Masson follows in third, followed by Capello in the Audi.
Now we're going to go back and show you what's going on in GT1, and interestingly, Ron Fellows in the yellow number 3 CompuWare Corvette, who put that car in pole, has dropped at this stage to third in class.
Less surprised. Ron had a great run here yesterday, and then you see the 4th placing car in class in Beretta right now out front.
Oh, 007. See that? Shortcut the chicane, Calvin.
Well, he didn't gain any track position there, so that's going to be a call that the officials have to make here. Typically, if you shortcut the chicane and gain track position or gain a position, they'll do something about it. You have to give that position back. But right now, we'll have to wait and see if they get any call from the stewards.
Now in GT2, you're hopping on board right now with the number 31, Jörg Bergmeister behind the wheel. And that red Ferrari up front is the one that Ralph Sheen talked about, the hometown favorite. It's leading.
Well, Bergmeister is the champion in this class last year, along with his co-driver, Pat Long. Now, those guys got separated in round 1. Pat Long is the third driver in one of those Porsche Spyders in LMP2. But right now, Bergmeister really putting the pressure on this Ferrari. The Ferrari had a great run in round 1 at Sebring, should have won that event, eventually finished third. They had some problems getting the wheels off the car, meaning they had to double stint tires even when they didn't want to.
You see the yellow Porsche, and the reason we're following that car is while we were away, we had a change for the lead. And Calvin, it was a tight moment.
It really was, coming through traffic. Weaver had started to drop his pace a little bit, and there you see Dumas over the curb there, really elbowing James Weaver out of the way. And there you see Capello in the silver Audi right behind these guys. So Dumas now sets sail at the front of the pack.
And it wasn't much after that Capello was able to sneak by as well and move up a spot. But he was involved in a bit of a moment too, as there is with the team car to our leader right now, as the two of them, Capello and driving the number 6 car, Sasha Masson, had a bit of a moment as well.
Capello looks down the inside of turn 7. He's looking over at the car thinking, does Masson see me? No, he doesn't. Sparks fly there. It looked like Capello's dive plane got into the right rear of Masson, punches down his right rear tire. He goes straight down the escape road, and Capello's on his way. Masson then had to do a pit stop, change the right rear tire, and lost valuable time in the pit lane.
Problems for the number 20. That is Chris Dyson. Now that car didn't even get a time in qualifying due to a problem, and it has had itself a spin as well. They moved smartly up to the pack, Calvin, but it got away from them.
There he is, under braking. It looks like it's down into the turn 2 area. Just locked up the rears. May have been a downshift issue as well. If you go down the gearbox too quickly, it'll engage the drivetrain and lock up the rears, like almost grabbing the e-brake in your street car.
There is your new leader in GT1. Ron Fellows put the car on pole, faded a little bit, and has come back and put together a stellar drive at this point. And as you can see, he's got a bit of room between he and the gentleman in second. And here's how that pass happened, Cal.
Ronnie Fellows just slides it down the inside of Olivier Beretta here. We coming down into that chicane area. That's very difficult to do, and just a superb job.
Now let's get back to GT2, where at the very front, things remain the same. That Ferrari of Houston, Ferrari right here of Jaime Mello, continues to lead. The top 4 are still very close in the class. However, there has been a change for second, third, and fourth. You recall earlier, Jörg Bergmeister, the number 31 Peterson White Lightning car, was sitting in that second spot right behind Mello. Well, he has dropped off just a little bit as we watch that beautiful Ferrari come arcing through turn 6 and into turn 7.
Now we look back to the second place runner. That's Mike Rockenfeller in the number 23 Alex Job Racing Porsche. But what's remarkable, this car started at the very back of the pack. Klaus Graf had a moment yesterday in qualifying where he clipped the wall and flat spotted the tires. When you change tires from qualifying, means you have to start at the very back of the pack. So that car's made it from the back all the way up to the front.
And now down to the pits, and here you see James Weaver is out of the car, Brian.
He will put 4 new Michelins on, and Butch Leisinger will have a full tank of fuel, 4 new Michelin tires, and I'm sure once again they've adjusted the pressures. We'll see if Butch can get a better car when he heads out. A slight problem with the right front tire. They've had a delay, had a difficult time getting that right front tire off, but another one going on. This will be a costly mistake.
Now, before all of this activity happened in the pits, the number 2 Audi also had a pit stop and a driver change as well.
This was a little bit early. I spoke to Brad Kettler, who runs this team, and he said with about 11 minutes of caution today, we can do it on 1 stop. So they obviously felt the strategy had to move. It's been a very clean race thus far, no caution periods.
They did stop a little bit early, but the reason why, I checked it with Brad Kettler, he said we got stacked up in traffic and couldn't get by. We were losing way too much time. We had to take that opportunity to just come in and do our pit stop. They did not go to the sticky tires, the nighttime compound yet. They're saying they're going to do it on the next stop. Leader is on pit road. Romain Dumas has brought his Porsche Spider in. Timo Bernhard will be taking over. Unlike the Audi, the refueling rig on this Porsche Spider on the left-hand side, that helped expedite the fueling. You can see Romain helping Timo in. It should be a routine stop, Ralph.
Now to give you a bit of an update, this car, the number 7 entry of now Timo Bernhard behind the wheel, is and remains the leader, but the interesting thing is McNish in the number 2 Audi through that whole sequence has put it back on the lead lap. We have a new overall leader in things. It is the number 2 Audi of Alan McNish, and surprisingly has just made a turn into pit lane. We ride on board.
Well, it could be great strategy down here. Remember, they stopped early. They have not run too far on this tank of fuel, so it will not take long to fill it. They will not take tires. They will fuel only. And remember, tires should be good to go. In 2003, this team won in Miami, flag to flag, with the same set of Michelins.
And some great strategy by the Audi folks, as well by the folks in GT2, particularly this team, Alex Job Racing, which is one of the legends in this category of racing. They had assumed the lead. They went past the halfway point before they did their pit stop. Klaus Graf now takes over for Mike Rockenfeller. Never lost the lead.
That's incredible. We saw the Ferrari pit about 5 or 6 minutes earlier, so the key now for the Ferrari squad, they may need a splash of fuel here to get to the finish. If they only go as long on this second stint as they did on the first, they will be shy. The Porsches look like they're in good shape. The 23 car, the 45 and the 31 all stopped after the halfway point, so providing they got all of the fuel in the car, fuel should not be an issue for these guys. Klaus Graf behind the wheel right now. He was the 05 Trans Am champion. He has a lot of experience in Porsche Super Cup, and he and Rockenfeller make a formidable pairing.
Big problems in the Dyson camp, Brian Till.
Greg, big problems indeed. Both cars were in. I'm here with James Weaver. James, from the pole, it was a great run. You led early on, but then you had problems, and now Butch has them. First, what was the problem with you when you were out there, and now what's Butch's problems?
We had a problem with a long brake pedal, and the right front tire lost pressure and just bottoming too much and upset the wheel weight, so we backed up quite a bit, and then Butch had the same problem with the right front. and he wasn't satisfied with that, so he's now broken 5th and 6th gear.
Now look at the lock up there in the right front, and you can see the problem there, and that would be indicative of a problem at the other end of the car, Calvin.
Right, diagonally across the car, over in this corner, James talking about a push rod. It's not a push rod in an engine, it's a push rod in the suspension system, what basically means the suspension is up in the air and then it cross-weights the car so that Guy didn't have no control. They're going to change that piece, just try and get him back out there and grab some points tonight.
And meanwhile, number 7, Bernard, right behind, is in. Our overall race leader and leader in P2 as well is in the pits. And Brian Till is there.
And a problem as well, Greg. They had to shut the car off, but it looks like they've got some type of a battery issue. They've gone into what's considered the passenger compartment of this Porsche RS Spyder, and they have changed the battery, so this is going to be a lengthy stop. Obviously, just coming to pit road was probably going to hand the lead over to McNish in the Audi. This just adds more insult to the injury.
Well, they needed to pit anyway, so that was going to cost them the lead to McNish. We believe McNish is good on fuel. He should go the rest of the distance without problems. But right now, the 7, the problem has been fixed.
And problems continue for the number 7 Porsche. He's down in the pits again, Brian.
Problems all around pit road. The 37 is in as well. The 7 is in. They've changed the battery once again on the number 7, Lucas Luhr behind the wheel. But the team also looking back in the back end underneath the engine compartment, and problems for the 62 as well, Ralph.
That would be the Ferrari F430 that started on the pole. Mika Salo is behind the wheel. They had a puncture on the left front tire, and it ripped up some of the body work. But the loss of power steering and now the puncture have definitely slowed the pole-winning car.
The number 4 car is in, so they're pitting before the sister car, the 3 car. This could be critical. What Johnny O'Connell now needs, who leads this class in the number 3 sister car, is no traffic on this next lap. If he hits traffic on this lap, this could really hurt his chances of victory here tonight.
Oh, and the number 6, who has had such a stellar run in the hands of Lucas Luhr in terms of outright speed, at an absolute crawl. And one wonders, Calvin, at this stage, we've seen the Dysons, this car, the 7. We've also seen the 37 entry that Brian alluded to. Is this track, the bumps, finally taking its toll?
Well, possibly. We believe it's an electrical issue with the 7 car, but the 6 car is slowing on the racetrack. Now, this is what I'm talking about, Greg.
Yes.
This could be a full caution period. That 3 car needs to get in the pit lane.
Here is the 37 Intersport Racing entry. Clint Field behind the wheel, Liz Halliday the other driver, and Brian, they've been in, and that car sounded pretty off.
They've got a cracked header in the back, and while that may not seem like that big a deal, Calvin, as you well know, it can cause a lot of overheating problems in the back. That exhaust is meant to exhaust the gas all the way out through the turbochargers and out the back. And with a crack in the header, it creates big problems for the engine. It does not run well, it will overheat, and that is not good news for these guys. With problems on both the 6 and the 7, seems to be driveline issues on both of those. Clint Field needs to get this car back out and get it to the front and see if they can win this P2 class.
Meanwhile, we get word we expect the field to be coming to green, and there it is, Alan McNish in the number 2 Audi R8. From Audi Sport North America, team champion leads them across, but with the problems for the 6 and 7 entries in P2, we have 2 Corvettes running 2nd and 3rd overall, leading in the GT1 class.
There. One of the Dyson cars that looks like had to go straight.
Now, I want to ask you a quick question here. The Audi, when it made its stop, when it came out with McNish on board the last time, about an hour and 6 minutes to go, that seemed to me to be maybe on the outside edge of the fuel window. So was this caution the gift that maybe they needed to just make sure?
It was borderline. I'm sure for them to play that strategy out, they would have been comfortable. They'd get to the finish without a splash. There you see Alan McNish making some adjustments there in the cockpit itself. And this caution period certainly would now bring them well within that zone where they can make it without a stop for a splash of fuel, Greg. And we understand that the 4 car is taken over the lead from the 3 car with O'Connell making that pit stop. So under the yellow there, somehow Ollie Gavin got some advantage with the slow pace of the field. Now we see the Corvettes. There's a GT2 car separating one of the Flying Lizard cars, but Ollie Gavin has got the lead away from Johnny O'Connell. Now we're not sure if it happened whilst Johnny was in the pits or when they went back to green flag racing, but the battle is on. What sort of call does Doug Feehan, who's the manager here at Corvette Racing, make in terms of letting these boys go racing for the rest of the night?
Now we want to drop back and take a look at what's going on in the GT2 division right there as you watch Johnny O'Connell in GT1. And here's your leader, Klaus Graf, in the number 23, that white and blue Alex Job Racing Porsche. And Klaus has done just a stellar job in this place. And now take a look at what it's done in class. It has been an absolutely spectacular drive. First, by Rockefeller and now by Klaus Graf from basically last to first.
Just great job, but what a team they have behind them. This team won the championship 3 years in a row, from 02 all the way through 04. They won Le Mans. They really know how to get the job done. Well, this is now called the Audi Sport North America Team Champion. It's the first time that Champion have run as an Audi factory team, and Dave Mirage, the owner, said, we can take victory here. I will be a very proud man. And Alain McNish has one more corner to negotiate before he sees that checkered flag.
And there it is, the checker flies. Alain McNish gets the win. The Audi goes 3 for 3. There you see Mr. Mirage on the far right. Here comes the number 3 Corvette, sitting third in class, just not close enough to Ollie Gavin at this stage. And the number 4 of Gavin has just taken the checkered flag, winning in GT1, second overall. An amazing achievement.
Alain McNish celebrating down here. It's now 62 victories for the R8. I know she's taken you to a championship, to race wins, to Le Mans victories. She just doesn't slow down, does she?
No, she doesn't, but the competition gets stronger. But the Audi R8's proved once again that it's been competitive, even on a very difficult, bumpy and tight street circuit like this. And it's also been fantastically competitive and winning on the types of Le Mans. And so I think Dindo and I can be very pleased with an Audi.
All right, now take a look at the results in GT1, the Vets, the Aston Martins, and the Celine. Let's get down to Ralph.
Tell me about that run, Ollie, how you got yourself back into the lead in GT1 and second overall.
Well, I was pushing hard all the way, and Johnny was driving exceptionally hard. But you know, everybody at Corvette Racing's just done such a fantastic job. You know, we've got 176 pounds more than everybody else here in our class, and still this is the machine to beat. And the Michelin tires have been fantastic, but it was tough coming in for that last stop, and I was pushing like really so hard trying to keep up with Johnny. And then when we came in and I went out for my first 2 out laps, I was pushing like crazy, and it was pretty hairy and scary, but pulled it off and got into the lead, and that was enough. So the boys did a fantastic job with all the stops today. It was just brilliant.
Field celebrating another victory in the P2 class, and you won at Sebring, but it looks like the same thing here, just determination and teamwork that got you to the end.
Yeah, I tell you what, the team worked great all week. I mean, we didn't really have any reliability issues until the race, and it pulled through. I came onto the front straight, and there was this wicked noise, and it didn't sound very good, and there was no power. So came in the pits, it was a cracked header. They safety wired it back together, and it held up. But got to thank Richard Berry, Very Berry Exotics, Goodyear tires in the holidays. Everybody that's been behind us.
And with the GT2 winners, Klaus Graf and Mike Rockefeller, and Klaus, you guys were last on the grid to first. How did you overcome your competition?
Well, it was fantastic. I mean, Mike did a fantastic job in the beginning, overtaking all those cars. I mean, he pushed really, really hard, and he handed me the car over in the lead, or in second, I think. And then I just kept pushing, and we were in the lead, and I was able to extend the lead, and then at the end I just controlled the race, and it was really good. I mean, the Micro High Wires car really ran well, and Alex Chop Racing Boys did a fantastic job, really good.